Elon Musk's SpaceX and NASA successfully sent 4 people into space without a minor technical difficulty. But that's not the important news, as there was something more mysterious that happened during the flight. There was a moment when the astronauts were frozen by the uncertainty, and they even donned their pressure suits as something much more mysterious approached them. The object was not ordinary or space debris. It was more like the first close encounter with a UFO of humans. In today's video, we're going to talk about the unidentified object caught on camera flying close to the SpaceX capsule and discuss in detail all the information about this mysterious thing. The launch of 4 humans into orbit on a SpaceX Crew Dragon spacecraft was a successful collaboration between SpaceX and NASA. The launch went off without a hitch, but on their way to the International Space Station, the crew of 4 was given some cause for concern when they were informed of the possibility of a collision with an unknown object. According to statements made by NASA spokesman Kelly Humphreys to the public, U.S. Space Command has alerted the NASA SpaceX team about the potential conjunction. The item that was being followed is labeled as unknown at this time. According to Humphreys, there was no time to conduct an evasive maneuver in order to move out of the way of the unknown thing before it arrived. In the event of a collision, SpaceX recommended that the astronauts put on their pressurized suits as a precaution. Because the possibility of the conjunction arose so close to the time of the closest approach, there was insufficient time to compute and carry out an effective wreckage avoidance maneuver. As a result, the SpaceX team made the decision to have the crew put on their pressure suits out of an abundance of caution rather than taking any chances. Aaron Dick, a spokesman for U.S. Space Command, told the media that the Pentagon alerted NASA about the possibility of a collision around 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, almost 7 hours after the spacecraft had been launched. Following more investigation, the 18th Space Control Squadron swiftly came to the conclusion that there was no conjunction threat. All of those on board were safe, and the spacecraft was not in danger as the unidentified object passed very near them, missing them only by a few meters. The nature of the object, as well as its dimensions and components, have not been verified at this time. When the crew touched down at the International Space Station on Saturday, they made history by being the first people in history of spaceflight to have been pushed into orbit by a rocket booster that had been recycled from a previous journey. In fact, the SpaceX launch that took place on Friday was marred by 2 distinct incidents that raised concern. The first statement released by a spokesperson for the United States Space Command indicated that the first thing that the spaceship encountered was due to a false alarm, and it was also recorded on video via SpaceX live webcast. It was later confirmed as a piece of debris or a fragment of the spaceship itself. However, 6 hours earlier, just 12 minutes after liftoff, there was another moment of curiosity that was captured on video. This time, it was something more mysterious, and it didn't look like part of the space debris or a fragment from the spacecraft. As the Dragon capsule that was carrying the astronauts began to separate from the Falcon 9's second stage, a mysterious thing passed across the screen between the Falcon and the Dragon capsule. So literally, it passed in the area that was recently created by the spacecraft's components being separated, or otherwise, it would have collided with the spacecraft if it wasn't separated. It's still not clear where this thing came from or how it got there. Everything happened in the blink of an eye, and even the astronauts were too scared to talk because they couldn't understand what they had just seen. In retrospect, the object came from within 45 kilometers of the spacecraft during its closest approach. This distance is very little in comparison to the entirety of the space, yet it is close enough to cause alarm. However, it is still unknown where it first appeared at a distance of 45 kilometers before that. Last but not least, NASA may know a lot about them, but as many analysts speculate, it isn't going to release a detailed report about these extraterrestrial things like it has in the past and has labeled them space debris. despite the fact that many of those things weren't like the 2017 incident of the same kind. That's all for today's video, guys. What do you think of today's video? Tell us your views in the comments section. Thank you very much for watching this video. See you in the next video.